that working? 8888 Ask Leo. Barry's our first caller of the day. Barry's in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Barry. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. Got a question for you. I've got a pogo plug in my house that I use for a central hard drive, and all my computers point to a central iTunes folder.
I love pogo plug.
It's really cool.
It's so great.
So I got a place in New York, and I can access my files through the pogo plug, but do you have a solution so I could use the iTunes program on that computer?
You can't. Apple doesn't want you to do that.
Uh-huh.
So you've got all your music centralized onto. I'm going to explain what a pogo plug is because people who are listening going, what is he? Pogo stick? What is he? What? So I love the pogo plug, and everybody. I'm glad to give them a pogo plug because everybody ought to know about this thing. It's a piece of hardware that you buy, not very expensive. I think it was $100, right?
I got it for $45 on Amazon.
What? Great deal. Great deal. They have 2 or 3 models. They have the hot pink model for home users and then a black model for business. And the idea is the pogo plug is just an interface. You plug it into the wall. Actually, do you? Yeah, you plug it into the wall. You plug your Ethernet. Now, this is important. You plug an Ethernet cable. You need broadband into this. An Ethernet cable into this. And then it has something like 4 USB ports. I have the old pogo plug, which only had 1 USB port, but I think the current pogo plug has, is it 4 USB ports on it?
3 on the back, 1 on the front.
Yeah. And so the idea of that is you can plug in storage, any kind of USB storage onto your pogo plug, and then the pogo plug puts it on the internet. It also puts it on your LAN. So if you're copying files, and this is how you're using it, Barry, that's successful. You put, I don't know how many hard drives on it, but you got a lot of storage on that thing now. You put all your iTunes music on there. Doesn't include a hard drive. That's why it's so cheap. It's an interface to the hard drive and the internet. And now you've turned that hard drive plugged into it into a network attached drive, a network attached storage that all the computers in your house can see, right?
Right. I can stream video over this thing, wireless.
Yeah. In fact, it's got some nice software that automatically, if you choose to, copies all the media files on attached computers over to it, and does a lot of really nice little things like that. But it's not, well, you know, it depends what you want to do. I guess if you just want to play music, you can mount the pogo plug, run the pogo plug software, and then it appears on the remote computers. Does it appear as a hard drive? I can't remember.
It does on the ones that are on the local network, but if you...
Only locally. Okay, that's the problem.
You got to go through...
So iTunes will not play back unless it sees it as a drive. Because what you're doing is you're telling iTunes, this is where my music's stored.
That's right.
And you tell it, well, it's stored on the pogo plug. Now, one of the beauties of the pogo plug is for anybody else on the LAN, it's going at full LAN speed. So if you have 100 megabit LAN or a gigabit LAN, a local area network, then it's very fast. In fact, with a gigabit LAN, the pogo plug drives appear pretty much as local hard drives to all the drives in the house. It's very fast. It's fast enough to play video back. The problem is that internet thing. If you can't mount it as a local drive, iTunes can't be told to use it. So I don't think you can use it. You know what's funny is you can use it on your iPhone. There's a pogo plug application on your iPhone that will let you play back the music that's on that pogo plug on the iPhone.
Right, I've got that.
So I guess what you could always do is plug the iPhone into a speaker.
Is there a different option to tap that central folder over the internet?
Yeah, there are ways you could do it. I mean, what pogo plug basically is doing is they're doing what's called FTP, file transfer protocol, but hiding all the complexity from you as a user. So when you put that pogo plug online, you can share, and I do this with the radio stations, by the way, when they have me do commercials or stuff for the radio stations on the Tech Guy network, I just put it on my pogo plug here and I send them a link and they can get the file. They don't even, I make it public so they don't even need a password or anything. And they get the file. It's beautiful. But what's really happening behind the scenes, if you know computers, is file transfer protocol. It's just doing it transparently so they don't have a password and login and all that stuff. Or if they do, and by the way, you can't have that. It's hidden. It's simple. But I think the only way, you could get really fancy and start running something like a Hamachi server at home.
Yeah.
It makes your LAN look like a local drive remotely.
I was looking at Hamachi this morning, but that looks like it goes through, again, it goes through somebody else's server, right?
It does. It didn't used to. But when LogMeIn bought it, they kind of screwed it up. So, because you should check. You used to be able to run your own Hamachi server, in which case you wouldn't need a third-party server to do that.
Right.
But I think LogMeIn made it, when they bought it, they made it so that you ran it through LogMeIn. But you could do VPN. There are ways that you could make that your LAN appear local. But, the speed is going to be the issue, and I don't know if it's going to be the ideal way to play that music. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.